I was actually the crown prince of the financial world. But for true love, I played the poor delivery guy, living with her family for 3 whole years.
The night the villa's gas tank exploded, I tried to protect my wife. The blast threw me to the ground, leaving my face a total wrecked mess. I reached out, begging for help, but she viciously kicked my hand away. She actually said, "A pathetic delivery guy's life doesn't matter. If he perishes, just don't stop her from calling Tattoo."
She turned around, carrying that childhood friend decked out in fake designer gear. Without even looking back, she rushed right out of the blazing flames. The firefighters eventually pulled me out of there, but the massive fire had burned through a wooden beam, and it collapsed right onto my head.
That strike permanently trapped my intelligence at a 5-year-old's level. I had absolutely no idea who I was anymore, or even where my home could be.
3 whole years passed before Thamtang Mat finally found me. I was literally fighting stray dogs for scraps near a trash can under an overpass.
I tilted my head, shielding a spoiled half-eaten bun in my arms. Then I held up a little soda can ring I'd found, offering it to her.
Auntie, do you know me? You're so pretty. Here, this ring is for you. Just please don't take my bun away, okay?
Thamtang Mat stared at me in absolute disbelief, instinctively taking a half-step back in shock. Do you really not recognize me at all?"
I just blinked in pure confusion.
I was just about to step closer to get a better look at her when a man suddenly grabbed her waist from behind. He leaned in, whispering right into her ear. He'd bought a massive, incredibly expensive overseas life insurance policy on me.
"You're the main beneficiary, and the payout is $50 million. But for the claim to clear, his passing has to be an absolute accident or an illness.
If we let him perish out here right now, police investigations would be way too annoying, and they'd even have to run an autopsy."
Tattoo's fingers trailed along Thamtang Mat's waist. His voice dropped extremely low. "Take him home, lock him in the basement, and slowly torture him. We'll keep going until his body completely gives out. Once he's gone, that massive payout becomes the exact startup capital we need to take our company public."
Thamtang Mat's body went totally rigid for a second. Slowly, her cold gaze fell right back onto my face. I couldn't understand that conflicted look crossing her face. All I saw was her crouching down, smiling as she reached her hand out toward me.
In her clean, pale palm sat a chocolate wrapped in shiny gold foil. She asked if I wanted it. I nodded eagerly, furiously wiping my index finger on my shirt to get the mud out from under my nails.
Just follow me, and this piece of chocolate is all yours. And not just this one. I can let you eat chocolate every single day. My eyes instantly lit up. Really? Is that true? Pretty sister, you can't lie to me, okay? Thamtang Mat didn't say a single word, just pressing the chocolate right into my hand. I tore off the foil and chewed greedily.
"So sweet. You're such a good person." Thamtang Mat turned her face away, quickly spinning around to get into the car.
Right then, a few heavy bodyguards walked over. They hoisted me straight into the air, heading toward the back seat.
Just as I was about to get in, Tattoo suddenly spoke up. "Hold on, throw him in the trunk. Don't dirty my car." They forcefully shoved me into the cramped trunk, and the little can ring fell from my hand.
I struggled with absolutely everything I had, desperately wanting to pick up that fallen ring.
"That is my ring from my wife!" The car door slammed shut. Tattoo sat in the passenger seat, locking all the windows, turning on internal air circulation, and cutting the AC.
The air inside grew thinner and thinner, becoming overwhelmingly suffocating.
I started clawing frantically at my throat. That intense feeling of suffocating dragged me right back to that massive fire. "Fire! Fire! Please help!"
Now watch how sick this gets. I curled into a tight ball, my nails scratching deep marks into the seat. Through the rearview mirror, Tata watched my agonizing struggle, turning to smile at Thamtang Mat.
"He smells absolutely disgusting. Don't let his stench rub off on you."
Thamtang Mat was casually scrolling through her phone. The screen showed a missed call from a contact saved as annoying sister-in-law. Clearly irritated by it, she hung up and easily dragged the number straight into her block list.
"That crazy woman keeps harassing me for him all these years." Ta gently took the phone from her hand and erased the entire call log.
"Stop paying attention to these cheap, pathetic relatives from now on. Once we get that payout money, we're heading straight overseas."
The car finally pulled into the villa.
Lacking oxygen, my face had turned completely purple, mud still smeared thickly around my mouth. They parked outside, and a servant was about to connect a hose to wash me off, but Tatu raised his hand, stopping them. He took off his suit jacket and rolled up his sleeves.
Let me do it. What if the servants don't wash him clean and he gives you a virus?
He grabbed the high-pressure hose, speaking incredibly softly to Thamtang Mat. For you, I don't mind the filth. I'll do it myself. Thamtang Mat looked at Tatu, her eyes turning slightly red.
You're so good to me, unlike that piece of trash who only knows how to embarrass me. Ta turned to face me, and the smile vanished from his face. His stare turned bone-chillingly cold.
Tran track. Just hold it in a bit. Once you're clean, the pain goes away.
He adjusted the water pressure to the absolute maximum setting, aiming directly at the most heavily burned skin on my face and blasting it.
The high-pressure water column smashed right into my severe injuries. It hurts so bad. I rolled around in the muddy puddle, screaming tragically.
I tried shielding my face with my hands, but the water column actually snapped my nails off. A dark crimson mixed with the mud, pooling all over the ground.
I was in so much agony, I could only thrash around. Meanwhile, Thamtang Mat stood on the steps holding a freshly peeled tangerine, just watching coldly.
The washing finally ended. My skin was entirely bruised, with the torn areas still weeping crimson. I just lay there, violently shivering without stop.
Ta shuts the tap and tosses the hose down. He is washed up now, so just dump him on the entrance mat. Absolutely do not let him inside the house.
I am not allowed inside at all, just dumped right at the door. Tatu pulls Thamtang Mat into the room, and as he steps over me, he purposely stomps my hand. Thamtang Mat playfully taps him, telling him to be quite careful and not twist his ankle.
Dinner time rolls around, and the rich scent of steak drifts outward. Tatu digs up an old, lint-covered protective suit and chucks it right at my face. These clothes handle dirt pretty well, perfect for someone crawling on the floor. Thamtang Mat nods, praising his thoughtfulness so they do not have to waste money on new clothes.
Ta, too, cuts a piece of very rare steak, loosening his grip to let it hit the floor.
He stops a servant from cleaning it up with a heavy sigh. Tran Track is starving, he says, so do not waste it. Crawl over here and eat this generous reward.
Catching that rich scent, my stomach violently rumbles. I tremble as I crawl over, lying completely flat to grab that piece of meat with my mouth. Right as I swallow, Tatu gently rests his foot on top of my head.
He grinds his shoe sole into my hair, laughing as he calls out to Thamtang Mat. Look how happily he eats, he tells her. It truly makes you feel pure pity.
Thamtang Mat watches, smiling at his supposed kindness. Meanwhile, my mouth is totally filled with dusty carpet and the sharp metallic taste of raw meat.
I completely freeze up for a second. An image flashes vividly inside my heavy mind.
3 years ago, Thamtang Mat brought me a burnt plate of steak just like this. It was her very first time cooking, face covered in flour, smiling so incredibly sweetly.
Hubby, she had said, even though it is completely burnt, I will cook for you every day.
That exact memory is incredibly sweet, making a small smile involuntarily appear on my face. But the second I smile, Tatu's foot pushes down on my head with extreme crushing force.
Smash! He stomps my slightly raised head right back into the carpet, grinding his heavy heel directly into my temple.
What am I laughing at? Eating garbage makes me that happy? Truly a natural-born, pathetic animal.
The intense pain forces a soft groan out of me, tears mixing with crimson as they stream down.
I have absolutely no idea why I am getting beaten, just remembering my own wife. To check if I am faking this madness, Tatu calmly lights up a cigar.
He takes a drag, then shoves the burning tip near my eye to see if my pupils shrink. The glowing flame gets closer, intense heat hitting my face.
Fire! No, please no! I scream in pure terror. Throwing myself completely backward, I knock over the wine rack nearby. The red wine spills all over Tatu's pants. Thamtang Mat flies into an absolute rage, rushing forward to slap me. Smack! This ungrateful trash actually dares to attack people. I grab my face, shaking uncontrollably, mumbling over and over how terrified I am of the fire.
Now watch how he spins this. Ta-Tu warns Tham Tong Mat that my mental state is totally unstable and violent. So what if I end up accidentally hurting her?
Just lock him in the basement and starve him for days. Once his body gets totally weak and breaks down, he will definitely fade away much faster. The insurance company will not find a single flaw. They will just claim severe anorexia led to total organ failure.
Tham Tang Mat immediately calls the guards to drag me down and lock me away. Without her explicit permission, absolutely no one gives him water.
I get dragged into this dark, damp cellar. No lights inside at all, just the creepy sound of rats scurrying around. I curl up tightly in the corner, constantly slamming my head against the wall. The next day, Ta-Tu comes down, instantly spotting what I am shielding against my chest.
He forcibly bends my fingers back, snatching the small iron box away. Hiding something good down here? Let him take a look.
The iron box opens up, revealing nothing but pure garbage inside. Just some old hair ties that Tham Tang Mat had thrown away. Crumpled scraps of paper and a half-burnt marriage certificate photo. In that picture, Tham Tang Mat smiles so sweetly, while my face right next to her is completely burnt away.
Ta holds the box, turning around to head upstairs to tell Tham Tang Mat. This is absolutely classic paranoid delusion, he explains. He is obsessively collecting this trash. If they do not step in now, he might actually severely harm her over this pathetic pile of garbage.
A crazy person attacking someone breaks no laws. Tham Tang Mat, she is in serious danger right now.
Tham Tang Mat turns utterly pale, tightly gripping Ta-Tu's arm. What should they do? Deal with it quickly. Ta-Tu pulls out an unlabeled bottle filled with yellowish liquid.
This is a highly special medicine he got from overseas.
It can completely quiet him down for good. The only side effect is gradual organ failure, which just so happens to perfectly match their entire master plan.
You would think she might hesitate, right? Not even close. Tham Tang Mat actually rushes him. Inject him fast, she urges. Use a lot so he stops acting completely crazy. Ta brings her back down, pinning my arm against the floor. Seeing that needle, I struggle wildly. It hurts so much. No injections, please. Wifey, it hurts. Tham Tang Mat stands nearby, impatiently asking Ta-Tu why there is no reaction yet. Shut up, she snaps. This is actually good for you. Once injected, the madness will completely stop. The needle pierces my vein, sending freezing liquid straight inside. I just cry out, calling for my wife. After the drug kicks in, my entire body goes limp, totally unable to move. Right in front of me, Ta-Tu dumps everything from the iron box into the fireplace. Keeping this garbage around is just asking for disaster. The flames rise high, completely swallowing the pink hair tie, and then moving straight to that exact photo. Fire curls tightly around the picture. The Tham Tang Mat in the photo twists inside the glowing flames, before finally turning entirely to ash.
I want to reach out and grab it, but I can't even lift a finger. My home is gone.
The photo turns to ash, and the light in my eyes fades right along with it. I stop struggling, just staring blankly at the flames, while tears quietly run down my face. Ta-Tu complains about the awful smell from my reaction to that injection. He just covers his nose and ruthlessly kicks me away.
He mutters about the stench. Throw him in the doghouse outside. As long as he is still breathing, that is perfectly fine. Let him get some air out there.
Tham Tang Mat covers her nose and agrees. Throw him out before he ruins the house. Late at night, pouring rain. I curl up in that broken doghouse, burning up with a pretty severe fever.
Using my badly injured finger, I trace a shape right onto the damp, rotting wood of the doghouse.
I draw a twisted smiley face. Staring at that dark crimson smile, I quietly mutter to myself, "It doesn't hurt. Chuntrek is good, so his wife won't be angry."
If Chuntrek listens, his wife will surely take him home. I drift off in that doghouse, my hand still tightly gripping some black ash I saved from the fireplace. When I wake up, Ta-Tu stands right before me, holding a phone. He plants his foot on my broken leg and grinds down hard. You can actually hear the horrifying sound of the bones scraping together under his weight. I let out a completely agonizing scream. Through the haze, I just hear him laughing and talking into the phone. Did you hear that?
Listen to this absolute madness. That is your brother's voice. He just had a delicious steak and is so happy he is practically throwing a tantrum for me.
On the other end of the line, my sister, Trun Tyne, is screaming. Tatu, what do you want anyway? Is it just about the money? I will give it to you. But if you dare lay a finger on my brother, I will absolutely destroy you. Tatu completely revels in this twisted sense of control.
He presses his foot down even harder, speaking to me with this sickeningly gentle tone. Come on. Go on, say hello to your little sister. Tell her you are doing just fine here. Otherwise, you get absolutely nothing for your next meal, not even a bowl of dog food. The pain makes my mind so incredibly blurry, I can barely even hear who is talking. I just instinctively cry out, begging my sister. It hurts. Trunchek is hurting so much. Mister, my leg is totally broken. Her desperate voice immediately comes through the speaker. Brother, where are you? Please do not be afraid. Chun Tang cries out for me, but Tatu does not give her another second to speak. He just hangs up the call. Such a deeply touching sibling bond. Hearing that almost makes me emotional. It is just a real shame that you two will never actually get the chance to meet again.
I already finished all the immigration paperwork. Once you are finally out of the picture and that money drops, I am taking your wife overseas forever. Very soon after that completely brutal phone call,
My sister Tran Tong mobilizes every single connection she has to completely lock down this entire villa area. But Tatu is just incredibly cunning and sly. He uses some pretty advanced tracking tricks to set up completely fake signals. Chun Tong leads an entire team of bodyguards and smashes right into the door of an empty suburban villa. There is absolutely nobody inside. Just a single radio sitting there, playing a pre-recorded message. Miss Chun, you arrived a bit too late. Chun Tong completely smashes the radio, her eyes burning with fury. Dig through the very earth itself if you have to. Find my brother. Now here is the twist. To dodge the Chun family's frantic pursuit, Tatu decides to pack up and relocate immediately. He ruthlessly shoves me right into the trunk of this off-road vehicle. It is completely stuffed with random junk. The space in there is insanely cramped. Heading straight to the underground basement of that private club will be much more discreet. To stop me from making any more noise, Tatu hits me with another powerful sedative. This time, the dosage is totally doubled. I immediately start having wild hallucinations. I cannot even separate reality from my nightmares anymore. I do not even recognize who Tatu is right now.
Thẩm Thanh Mạt sits in the passenger seat, casually touching up her makeup. As they drive, she asks Tatu, if he doesn't survive this car ride, will the insurance still pay out? Does it still count as a random accident?
This is $50 million here. Tatu just keeps driving and reassures her. Do not rush it. Just wait a bit longer. Losing him right now is way too suspicious. Waiting until we reach the club and just starving him out is the absolute safest bet. The bumpy vehicle pushes forward. Inside that pitch-black trunk, I am violently swaying with the car, slamming against the cold iron frame. In my fading dreams, I actually see my sister coming to get me. She is wearing a dress, gently reaching her hand out toward me. I reach out, desperately wanting to hold on to her, but I only touch a freezing slab of cold metal. Little sister, please take me home. My voice is so incredibly weak that even I cannot hear my own words. Right before my fading mind completely sinks into the pitch darkness, I can only remember that dark crimson smiley face and Tum Tang Mat's ice-cold voice echoing, will we still get that massive insurance payout? To win over some big shot in the business world, Ta Thur actually comes up with a sick new trick. He decides to drag me right into tonight's party, literally packaging me up as some kind of twisted exhibit, the intellectually disabled survivor of a tragic fire. That is the brand new label he brutally slaps onto my identity. A makeup artist gets called down to the basement. Seeing me, she instantly covers her mouth, nearly throwing up on the spot. Mr. Ta, how exactly am I supposed to paint this? His face is completely ruined. Tatur just sits on the sofa, legs crossed, casually swirling his wine. Ruined is perfect. It shows my deep mercy. Just plaster that makeup on super thick. The makeup artist doesn't dare disobey. She grabs a sponge, packing layers over the heavily scarred, uneven skin across my face. Thinking I do not look pathetic enough, Tatu violently snatches the blush brush right out of her hand. He takes the darkest red and aggressively smears 2 huge circles onto my cheeks.
Now this is hilarious. Just looking at it makes you laugh. I stare at the red-faced monster in the mirror, too absolutely terrified to even breathe.
Tatsu wants to avoid any embarrassing accidents at the banquet, so for 2 whole days, he completely starves Tunchek. Not a single bite of food, not one drop of water.
His lips are totally cracked and dry. Half a glass of water sits right on the table. He just stares at it, his eyes practically bulging out of his head.
The second he reaches out, Tatsu presses a folding blade right against his face. The cold metal taps gently against his dry lips.
You want a drink? He pushes the cold tip inside, taunting him right there. If you dare make a single sound tonight, I will take this voice of yours away for good.
Understood? Nod if you get it. Tunchek freezes in pure terror and desperately nods. Salty tears roll down into his mouth, a very bitter, painful taste.
Fancy cars pull up under flashing camera lights. Tataru roughly pushes Tunchek right out in his wheelchair.
Thầm Thanh Mạt happy links arms with Tatu. Eager reporters absolutely zoom them. Microphones practically shoving right into her pretty face.
Miss Thumb, word is you never once abandoned your poor disabled husband. It really is such an incredibly touching story for everyone.
Thầm Thanh Mạt faces the cameras, showing off a flawless smile she clearly practiced countless times. After all, he only ended up like this because he was trying to save me.
Taking care of him forever is simply the right thing to do. She fixes his collar, but secretly digs her sharp nails painfully deep into the back of his neck. Tattoo pushes him right into a group of rich kids. Come here, look at this.
Let me introduce everyone to the surprisingly lucky survivor, Tunchek. The rich kids quickly circle around him, swirling their fancy wine glasses, their eyes absolutely dripping with cruel mockery. Oh, is this the local idiot? Why is his face painted up like a literal clown? One guy, wanting to suck up to Tatu, perfectly fakes a slip of the hand.
Half a glass of wine dumps straight onto his head. The red liquid drips right down his messy hair.
It seeps right into his eyes. The sudden stinging burn is just completely unbearable. He instinctively reaches up to rub them, but Tatu grips his shoulder, pressing down hard enough to practically shatter his bones.
Hold perfectly still. Young Master Trung actually respects you. That is exactly why he is offering you a fine drink.
Tunchek stays perfectly still, just letting the wine run completely down his face. Cruel laughter erupts all around him. Look at this pathetic fool. He really is not moving an inch.
Tatu sees the crowd eating it up and decides to take the show one step further.
He pulls a single coin from his pocket and tosses it under the long dining table. It rolls a few times before stopping in the absolute deepest, darkest corner.
Tatu points right under the table, laughing down at him. Hey, Tunchek, you see that coin down there?
Crawl under and fetch it for me, and I will finally give you some water. Hearing that exact word makes his dry throat burn even worse. He looks down at the coin, then up at all the polished leather shoes surrounding him.
He slowly slides out of the wheelchair, dropping flat onto the floor to crawl under.
The crowd naturally steps back, forming a massive circle. It is pitch black under there, choked with heavy dust and the strong smell of leather shoes.
Using his hands and knees, he struggles painfully toward the dropped coin. Tum Tang Mut stands gracefully on the outer edge, casually holding her champagne glass. Boss Ta is just so incredibly generous, actually putting up with this pathetic thing wobbling around.
Miss Tum is truly so blessed to find such a wonderful man like Boss Ta. Hearing those exact words, Thum Tang Mart glances at her husband, crawling pitifully on the floor, a flash of pure satisfaction lighting up her eyes. He finally manages to grab the coin. Covered in thick dust, he slowly backs out and holds the prize right up to Tatu.
Water, please, give me water. Tatu snatches the coin and casually tosses it onto a nearby waiter's silver tray. Then he grabs a fresh glass of water and slowly pours it right onto the floor. Oops, my hand slipped. If you want a drink, get down and lick it.
This nice carpet absorbs it pretty well. Right as Tunchek lowers his heavy head to actually lick the damp floor, the grand banquet doors are violently blasted wide open. Wait for it. This changes everything. The massive bang makes the music stop dead, and everyone instantly snaps their heads toward the grand entrance. Truntang marches in wearing heavy combat boots, looking absolutely livid. Right behind her, dozens of serious guards, fully dressed in sharp black suits. One quick glance and she spots him flat on the ground, his face stained red. He is still awkwardly trying to lick that spilled water from the rug. Truntang's pupils shrink in sheer horror as she clutches her chest. Ta Tzu frowns and steps right up. Who goes there? Why are you making such a massive racket? Ever heard of basic manners? Two of the suit-wearing guards step right up and forcefully shove him backward. Ta Tzu stumbles back, crashing straight into a giant, delicate champagne tower. Truntang does not even give him a single look, marching fiercely straight toward her poor brother.
The stunned crowd quickly parts ways. Truntang drops right in front of him, her hands and lips visibly trembling with uncontrollable emotion.
Her voice is totally hoarse. It is me, Tang. I am finally here to take you home. Ignoring the absolutely filthy floor, she drops right down to her knees, reaching out with shaking hands to wipe the mess off his poor face.
Startled by the sudden gentle movement, he just completely panics. He shrinks back fast, totally shielding his head, staring up at her in pure terror. Please do not hit me. I crawled. I found the coin. Just let me drink. Please do not take my voice away.
Truntang just cannot hold it in anymore. The heavy tears finally fall.
Oh, you are going to love this. She jumps up and storms over to Ta Tzu. He barely gets to his feet, about to totally curse her out, when smack!
Truntang winds all the way up and delivers a genuinely earth-shattering slap. The heavy impact spins Ta Tzu completely around on the spot, instantly knocking two of his teeth right out of his mouth. Ta Tzu clutches his face, staring at her in absolute disbelief. You dare hit me?
Truntang just raises her heavy boot and kicks him hard in the gut. Ta Tzu falls over, flying backward right into the massive dining table.
Thẩm Thanh Mạt finally snaps back to reality right then, totally panicking. She just realized Truntang's clothes are strictly limited edition, high-end designer gear. She rushes forward, trying to explain, a stiff smile plastered across her face. Miss, you've got it all wrong. We're just taking good care of him.
Smack! Truntang backhands her with another heavy slap, knocking Thumbtang Mart straight down to the floor.
Thẩm Thanh Mạt instantly split open. Truntang glares at her, taking care of him. You turn my brother into a whimpering dog, even threatening to cut his tongue out.
Thẩm Thanh Mạt, you just wait and collect the ruined pieces of your entire family. Covering her cheek, she stares at Truntang in absolute horror. Who are you? Who on earth are you? Truntang looks down at her from above, staring like she's looking at absolute trash.
Thumbtang Mart, you probably never saw this coming in a million years, did you?
You completely dismissed him as a broke delivery boy, trampling him right into the mud just for this fake knockoff standing next to you. Truntang's voice isn't loud at all, but it echoes perfectly clear across the entire room.
But he is actually the one and only heir to our Tron family.
The crown prince of the financial world, a height you people could never reach in a lifetime. The absolute heir to the wealthiest family.
Thẩm Thanh Mạc snapped up, every drop of color draining from her face. She looks over at me, covered in filth and just laughing foolishly with pure, utter disbelief.
A massive wave of regret and terror pierces straight through her heart in an instant.
It hurts 10,000 times worse than the burning pain on her cheek. Truntang walks over to my side, wrapping me tightly in her trench coat to hide all that humiliation. Watch these two closely. If he loses a single hair, I am holding you all fully responsible. She orders her guards, then personally crouches down and lifts me into the wheelchair. Let's go home, brother. I curl up inside the coat, catching a very faint, clean scent. Do we have steamed buns at home? I ask her so timidly. Truntang's tears fall right onto the back of my hand. We have steamed buns, we have candy, we have absolutely everything. She wheels me outside, but pauses just before crossing the doorway. Her eyes sweep across the whole room, her tone completely stripped of any warmth. Every single person here today who bullied my brother, not one of you is getting away. I am counting every last one, so brace yourselves for what is coming. Now watch this massive shift. I get taken back to the Tron estate, this absolute castle of a mansion, surrounded by dozens of top-tier specialists. The doctor points at the blood analysis chart, his voice gravely serious. There is a massive amount of neurotoxin left in his system.
This chemical is highly illegal contraband. It doesn't just destroy the nervous system, it also leads to totally irreversible organ failure.
If you came even half a month later, not even a miracle could save him. Chun-Tun slams the report onto the table and acts. In just one night, the Thumb Group stock plummets to the floor. Banks seize their assets, all partners cancel their contracts, and penalty fees skyrocket into the billions. Tatu's shell company gets shut down completely, his fraudulent funding chain snapping right in half. The insurance company jumps in to investigate, and that $50 million policy turns into a massive nightmare. Tatu and Tum Teng Mat are thrown out, left wandering the streets. All their cards are totally frozen, leaving them without even enough cash for a motel. The two of them hide inside a drainage pipe.
Tatu chokes Tum Teng Mat. This is all your fault. If you weren't so greedy for that 50 million, we would have gotten rid of him a long time ago.
Look at us now. The Churn family made their move, and now we are all completely finished. Tum Teng Mat struggles desperately, scratching at his face.
Tata, you were the one who suggested injecting him. You were the one who came up with that awful idea.
Tatsu, you absolute bastard! Didn't you say you loved me? He just lets go, shoving Tum Tum Mat right into a foul mud puddle. He starts laughing until tears actually fall.
Love you? Why don't you look in a mirror sometime? I only wanted to scam your money, spinning you around like a top. It was actually highly entertaining.
And by the way, that night of the fire, why do you think you made it out completely unharmed? This next part is just incredibly messed up. Tatu looks at her, mocking her like a total joke. That beam was meant for your head, but he pushed you.
Thẩm Thanh Mạt freeze up hoàn toàn, her pupil shaking violently. What is you saying? That is impossible.
Tatir crouches down, viciously patting her cheek. Every single word driving into her brain like a heavy nail. It was Trenchek. That complete idiot used his own legs to block that hit for you. He got pinned under that beam, his face covered in awful wounds, reaching out and begging you to pull him up. Begging you to save him. But what did you do? Thum Teng Mat, what exactly did you do? Tatser doubles over laughing, tears rolling down his face. You took the escape route he risked his entire life to give you, and then you kicked his hand away with your foot. You stepped right over him, carrying me on your back and running off without a single glance behind. You sacrificed your actual savior just to rescue your cheating partner.
Thum Teng Mat, is there any woman in this world more vicious or more incredibly stupid than you?
The moment she hears those words, Tum Teng Mat feels her mind completely explode. She instinctively reaches down to touch the old scar on her left side.
That was from the fire years ago. Chun Trat shoved her out of the way so hard that she scraped heavily against the ground. The roaring flames reaching the sky, the collapsing beam, Trunchek's agonizing cry, his badly injured hand reaching out, and his weak voice telling her to run away quickly. And her only response to him was a disgusted kick and a heartless turn of her back. Thum Teng Mat lets out an agonizing scream, grabbing her head with both hands and slamming it into the dirt.
I'll destroy you, Tater. I'll completely destroy you.
She lunges at him, biting and tearing wildly.
Tatua kicks her away. Want to be finished? Not that easy. The Trun family won't let us go. Our only way out of this is using Trun Trek.
That devoted fool will definitely soften up the exact moment he sees you. He pulls out a sharp blade, pressing it right against Tum Teng Mat's neck. Come with me for the final act. He drags Thum Teng Mat to the ruins of the villa that burned down years ago. He pours gasoline everywhere. The smell is incredibly sharp and totally overpowering.
Tại Thẩm Thanh Mạc cho một cột than sắt thì set up một livestream, sending the video straight to the Chen family's private inbox.
Chenchak, if you don't want your wife gone forever, come here alone. Bring 10 billion in cash. Call the cops and I'll burn her completely.
Back at the Trun estate, I'm eating the oranges my sister peeled. Trun 10 watches the video, face completely pale, but I can still see the tablet on the table.
I see Thẩm Thanh Mạt on the screen, face completely red, crying for help.
And there's that bad man, holding a lighter. Fire. Wife. Save her.
taking advantage of the guards changing their shifts, I sneak right out.
I stumble all the way to the ruins, losing a shoe, my bare foot scraped raw by the gravel. Seeing me arrive, wild joy flashes in Tate's eyes. What a devoted fool, absolutely lost his mind, but still remembers to save his precious wife.
He flicks the lighter, the flame dancing. Get on your knees and crawl over here.
Otherwise, I'm lighting it right now. Fire. I'm so scared of fire, but I still kneel down, my knees hitting the sharp, broken bricks.
Step by step, I crawl forward, slowly making my way toward that exact pillar. Thum Tang Mot watches me kneeling and bowing down in the dirt.
Chen Jack, run away, don't worry about me.
Thum Tang Mot screams, struggling desperately.
Ta Tu, you absolute monster, aim at me if you actually dare.
Ta Tu strikes. He drives the blade right into her stomach. Shut your mouth, you wretch!
Crimson stains burst out, dyeing Tum Tang Mart's pure white dress completely red. And it only gets wilder. The lighter drops, catching the gasoline. Boom! Flames absolutely roar into the sky.
Looking at that towering inferno, I grab my head and scream,
Ah! Fire! Help me!
Right at that very moment, Trun Tang storms in with the special forces. One single shot rings out, hitting Tatu right between the brows. Bam! He collapses straight into the blazing inferno.
The mass of fire spreads incredibly fast, separating me from her. Thum Tang Mart slumps in a red puddle, the wound on her stomach looking completely devastating. Looking at me through the solid wall of fierce flames, she reaches out weakly. Hubby, please, save me. It's me, Tang Mart.
Please, take me home. I stop screaming, staring blankly at the woman trapped in the fire, then glancing at Trun Peng, who just rushed in.
Chun Tang opens her arms wide, crying out for me to come over. Turning my back to the flames, I throw myself into my sister's embrace, burying my face deep in her shoulder, trembling all over.
Sister, fire, let's go home. Tum Tang Max's reaching hand completely freezes in midair, her eyes rapidly fading into total darkness.
The hungry flame starts swallowing the hem of her dress. Karma, absolute karma. She finally closes her eyes amid the blazing inferno. Tatur isn't entirely gone yet. That shot missed by a fraction of an inch, but he suffers extremely severe burns covering 90% of his body. The Chan family mobilizes the absolute best medical resources to keep him around, just to throw him in prison with a permanent life sentence. My sister handles it, arranging some very special care for him.
Every single day, someone gives him a high-pressure cold shower, blasting water directly onto his horribly ruined skin. And they always make sure to use freezing cold water mixed with plenty of harsh salt.
Thẩm Thanh Mạt survives, but her vocal cords are completely ruined, và both of her legs have to be removed to severe burns.
Her family goes completely bankrupt, leaving her with massive debt, forcing her to painfully drag her broken body around the busy streets just to beg her change.
Exactly 1 year later, I fully recovered at a top-tier nursing home located far overseas. My body is healthy again, and the facial scars are perfectly fixed with surgery, but certain parts of my memory remain permanently erased forever.
Trần Thanh brings me back home to visit the bustling city streets. Meanwhile, Thẩm Thanh Mạt pushes her broken wheelchair, shivering intensely in the cold wind.
A cracked bowl sits right in front of her, holding just a few rusty coins. Now pay attention here. Suddenly, she spots a very familiar car pulling over by the sidewalk.
Wearing a crisp, clean white shirt and holding a fresh skewer of candied fruit, I happily hop right out of the fancy vehicle.
I want some cotton candy too. Tum Tang Mat's cloudy eyes instantly light up with hope, excitedly smacking her wheelchair while making these extremely strange, garbled sounds from her ruined throat.
She desperately wants me to recognize her.
Startled by those weird noises, I hide behind Trentine, poking my head out to watch her warily. Sister, that person over there is so scary.
My sister gives Tum Tang Mart one extremely cold glare. Don't be afraid, that's a bad person. She tries to pull me away, but I stop. Tugging gently on her sleeve, I dig a few leftover coins out of my pocket, just the extra change from buying that candied fruit earlier. Remembering exactly what my kind teachers at the nursing home taught me, I let go of my sister's hand and walk right up to Thum Tang Mart.
She's trembling all over with excitement. warm tears washing 2 clean streaks right down her filthy face, slowly reaching out, desperately hoping to touch my shirt.
I take a quick step back, dodging her hand completely, wrinkling my nose in pure disgust. It smells so incredibly bad here. Bending down, I toss those coins into her cracked bowl with a sharp clinking sound. Then I stand back up, my eyes totally clear, tilting my head and smiling happily at Chantan. Sister, I did a good job today. I am a good boy. The teacher says good deeds get a reward. Tonight, you have to tell me 2 stories. I do not even spare a single glance at Tomtang Mat, just grab Chantang's hand and happily skip right away. I want to hear the story about the superhero fighting giant monsters. Tomtang Mat just freezes right there, staring blankly at the coin sitting in the bowl. She completely collapses into her wheelchair, helplessly watching my silhouette fade away, while letting out this utterly silent, heart-wrenching cry. That deep red liquid I had painfully coughed up into the broken bowl just coats those scattered coins completely. Through the prison visiting window, Tatu is covered in awful sores, barely holding on to his miserable life.
Chantan actually has someone deliver a special letter to him, a notice about Tomtan Mat's tragic end, alongside an old unsent letter Tatsu himself had written to her years ago. The old letter proudly states,
Tomtang Mat is such an easy fool to play. Just whisper a few sweet words and she completely hands over all her money without thinking. Once I secure that 50 million, I will completely get rid of her, perfectly staging it as a tragic accident over lost love. A clueless woman like her entirely deserves to be played right in the palm of my hand. Tatu just stares at his own handwriting, lets out this bizarre laugh, and then suddenly starts sobbing, violently smashing his head against the thick glass. The warden watches this madness unfold on the security camera, completely numb as he slowly picks up his walkie-talkie. That guy in room 307 is losing it again. Tie him to the bed, keep him breathing. Meanwhile, over on the nursing home lawn, the golden sunlight feels wonderfully warm. I am sitting in front of the easel, my tongue unconsciously poking at my lip, looking completely focused. The painting shows bright green grass, a clear blue sky, and a yellow sun. Right in the middle, 2 tiny figures are holding hands. One is me, and the other is my little sister. But right down in the bottom left corner, there is this ugly, glaring black ink stain that accidentally dripped onto the canvas. Now watch this tiny detail. I put down the brush, grab a bottle of correction fluid, and carefully cover up that dark mark bit by bit. I press down incredibly hard, layering it thick until absolutely nothing is left but pure, spotless white. I gently blow on that white patch, waiting for it to completely dry. What are you drawing so intently over there? Tren Tang walks over, carrying a warm glass of milk and a plate of cut fruit, then quietly sits right down next to me. I happily point right at the newly whitened spot on my painting, showing it off like absolute treasure. Look, sister, it is all clean now. There are no more dirty stains. I look up, my wide eyes reflecting the clear blue sky and white clouds, without a single trace of sadness left inside them.
Trong Tong stares into my clear eyes, smiling as she softly rubs my head. You are right. No more stains. You draw so beautifully. And right at that exact moment, a little white butterfly gently flutters down, landing perfectly on top of the easel.
A butterfly! I cheer loudly, immediately tossing my brush and jumping off the chair, throwing my arms wide to chase it far away. I take a clumsy tumble onto the soft grass, getting covered in green clippings. But I do not cry at all. I just lie there, looking at the blue sky with a goofy, innocent smile. Tren Tang walks over, not rushing to pull me up, and simply sits down beside me. She pulls a brand new superhero comic book right out of her bag. Today, we are doing the Tiga story, okay? I immediately scramble up, nodding my head eagerly with brightly sparkling eyes. Yes, please. After the story, I really want some strawberry ice cream. I am no longer that Trun Trek carrying a massive burden of hatred, nor some lowly delivery guy and reading about superheroes. Just a happy kid who can smile all day long over a simple strawberry ice cream.